Hello to everyone. Welcome to our webinar about HVAC for BIM professionals. I hope you all hear me and see me properly. If not, please leave a message in the chat just in case we're having some technical problems and we did not realize, okay? Moreover, you can leave a message as well throughout the whole webinar in case you have some questions, okay? We will answer them as soon as we can. So first of all, my name is Andrea and I belong to the international department. But here, the most important person today is our engineer, Maria, my colleague from the technical support department. Hello, Maria.
Hello, thank you for inviting me to this webinar.
Well, if you have been following some of our last webinars, you will probably remember us. We have worked together in webinars introducing CYPE architecture and our acoustic solution, Accubat by CYPE. But here today, we will focus on our HVAC solutions. In fact, we will talk about the whole HVAC package we offer. I think you all can see the list of the programs included in the HVAC package. Yes. So with these solutions, the specialists responsible for HVAC projects can access precise calculations of thermal loads, design the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. They can create as well the drawings and diagrams together with the calculations report of their projects. First of all, I would like to say that these programs complement each other, but they are independent at the same time. I mean, you can use one program with no need of using another one, but in case you want to work with more than one program, it is totally possible. Our solutions communicate and read the data from each other. If you're interested in this package or any other program at the end of this webinar, please hit me a message because we are launching really good offers related to this webinar. And this could be your opportunity. Well, Maria, I think we should start the engines. What do you think?
Yes.
Perfect. Would you like to show us first maybe the BIMServer Center?
Yes.
As you may know, our solutions are introduced into the BIM workflow, so you can digitize your projects in the cloud. But if you prefer not to, it's okay. You can work in the kind of the traditional way, but CYPE solutions are a great chance to start working with the BIM workflow. Here in BIMServer Center, you can download every program from the HVAC package. For example, Maria, could you choose CYPETHERM Loads?
Yes, here it is.
Okay, so as you can see in the right top of the screen, you can download the program. You just have to register in BIMServer Center. It will take you just a couple of minutes and it's totally free. In the left bottom of the screen, it says application website. Could you click there, Maria?
Yes, of course.
There you can find a lot of information related to the program. Detailed information, learning resources. In learning resources, you will find our webinars, user manuals, and other interesting tools to help you out using CYPE programs. But personally, I think there are features that I found even more interesting in the BIMServer Center. Maria, could you go back to BIMServer Center maybe? Is that possible?
Yes, of course. Right.
Oh, perfect. Could you show us some projects from real clients, please?
Yes, it's here.
Okay.
In this button, in feature.
Perfect. So as I said before, you can upload your projects to the cloud. Right now, Maria is showing us some real projects related. No, I think, are these projects related to thermal analysis, Maria?
In general, these are all.
Okay. Could you choose some projects from thermal analysis, please?
Yes, and for today maybe makes more sense. So yes, you can say, for example, if we want to see the feature contributions of energy analysis, let's select all of them, and here we are.
Amazing.
These are tagged like that. So.
Okay, so now you all can see real projects related to thermal analysis. When uploading a project to the cloud, you have two options. You can make it public or private. If you decide to make them public, people will be able to see them like now. But if you make them private, they will not appear here. You can choose.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think this was a good first approach. Now, I think we should focus a bit more on the HVAC solutions. I think it will
Yes.
be really wiseful maybe to start with thermal loads. Um, I'm saying this because I think it's kind of the entry data solution. Is that right, Maria?
Yes, yes. Exactly. And it can be, I mean, you can finish your work with the thermal loads, but it can be the beginning. So then you can start using other programs, such the program for ducting, or continue with the radiant floor installation, or any other HVAC installation. So yes, I think it's
Amazing.
a good
So
start.
as far as I know, this program is for the analysis of thermal load of buildings, isn't it? So
Exactly.
if you want to open the program, that will be amazing.
Yes, of course, I do that. Uh, and yes, exactly what you said. And in fact, if somebody wants to know more about what the program does or the method that the program uses, even in the program, you can read exactly which calculations the program is using. Always in this case, as you see, using methods from the ASHRAE. Okay, so that's it. Maybe I can start showing the kind of results that this program produces.
Perfect. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so okay, for example, for this building, which is a healthcare center, I'm going to show you, for example, the results for one of the click here. I'm going to show you the results for one of the zones. Okay, this zone, for example, is groups all the meeting rooms of the building, and as you can see here, I have the total well, the thermal loads, in this case for cooling, the simultaneous peak cooling load for each of the meeting rooms. I have the final value in this case in watts. And in this graph, it's showing the percentage of the total power that each of the meeting rooms needs. We could see also the hourly cooling load progression. Okay, as you can see here, you can choose the month you want to see. The annual peak cooling load progression, the peak heating load, and well, as explanation of the calculation. This can be, in this case, I was showing the results for the whole zone, but I could do the same for each of the spaces. So here, for example, I'm seeing the results for this space in particular. So we are seeing the peak cooling load. We could see the RTF non-solar, RTF solar graph. I mean, the percentages of RTF non-solar and RTF solar hour per hour. The cooling load for each of the months, the annual peak cooling load progression, the peak cooling load, the complete cooling loads report. Okay.
Amazing. I see a lot of graphs, but is there any way we
Yes,
can get a report, Maria?
yes, of course, because I mean the graphs are very interesting. I think
Yes,
in
they
the
are.
first moment to see and analyze element by element, but we all like having that in a form of report, and of course it is possible. First, when we are here in the zone 3, we could get the complete report from here. So
Okay.
everything can be get in a single document. And then, okay, so that's one of the possibilities. So just in one document, you have everything. You could
That
export
was
this to
easy.
different
Just took
formats.
you a couple of clicks.
Exactly. And this is for one zone. But if, for example, in this file, I have created more than one hypothesis with different combinations, etc., of spaces, and from using this button, the list of thermal loads, we could get everything in just one document. All right. So it's
Amazing.
in just one click. we have it. So
Okay. I can see as well. I have another question for you. Is there any way
yes,
you can change the units?
yes, of course you can. Of course
I
you
ask
can.
this because I know people from all around the world are watching us today, and probably they use different units.
Sure, I understand. So yes, in that case, no problem. Here in this button in the configuration, you can press in units and
Okay.
change that you could use a predefined system of units. You can choose from the international system of units or the IP system, or you could change one by one. You know that sometimes, yes, because as you said, depending on the country or even the client, sometimes they have these needs of using a certain unit. No problem. For example, if I want you now using the screen that the results are in watts, but for the thermal load, if I want, I could use, for example, kilowatts. I accept, and here it is. Okay, any moment, as you see, the process is automatic, and I can get the reports, the graphs, etc. in the units I prefer.
Okay, that's amazing as well. I see the 3D model in the right bottom. Is it just for viewing, or
Yes,
you can get some useful data from it?
you can get very useful data,
Okay.
as a matter of fact, because
Can you show us?
this. Yes, of course, because you know, like when just like for example, at this moment in the tree, we're in the zone 1, okay, and for that reason, as the zone 1 is the meeting rooms, I'm seeing in orange, highlighted in orange, the spaces that are in this zone. That's the first thing, okay. So it's interactive, so it's giving me information so I can understand the building. That's one thing, but not only that, the program also shows the results of the thermal loads in that 3D view. I'll show you how to do that, okay? It's as easy as coming here to graphical analysis, select, and then I'm going to say that I want to see the graphical analysis in the 3D. I could show it for the zone or for the space. In this case, let's say that we want to see the simultaneous peak cooling load for the zone when I'm using the first hypothesis, which is with 2 zones. If I do that and I accept, as you see, now I have 2 colors. One is for the zone 1 and the other for the zone 2. Okay, so that's why in purple I have the result for the zone 1 and in dark red for the zone 2. Okay. And here you can see that the values, in this case, they are in kilowatts. Maybe I can prefer to go back to the original unit and update this. So you see now, and maybe this gives me more information, more. In this case, I would prefer seeing like that, okay, for example. But maybe I could see, now I want to see the results for the second hypothesis, which is only 1 zone for the whole building. If I want to look at this, if I do that, I can select that I want to see the results for this, for the second hypothesis. And in this case, I see the result, which is the total load for this, for the building. Okay, so there are, I could see, for example, instead of the cooling load, the heating load for that situation. So that's the kind of info I can get from the 3D.
Okay, so we can get reports, graphs, and information from the 3D model about the thermal loads. Is there anything else we can get?
Yes, of course. We can get if we have finished the analysis, thermal loads analysis, and we go to the drawing tab, we can get the info about the envelope of the building.
Okay.
Yes, in a drawing, we will get the compositions of the different constructive elements of the building, and well, the interesting part of this is to get that as a drawing here with the plotter button. We can get something like this, for example.
Okay, that's really interesting
Okay.
because
Yes,
probably people take a lot of time to do this usually.
exactly. And this is not something that you can change and arrange with your the way you want. I mean, the program gives you a first option, but if you want, you can even create a new drawing and maybe insert a part of that. Okay, so imagine here, for example, let's say I need a bit bigger. Okay, for example, let's say A3, for example, and then I'm going to move this object here, and then okay, something
Okay,
like
so
that.
it's
I think
customized. Let's say it
yes,
like this.
exactly. Anyway, I think I prefer
Amazing.
the one that the program did for starters, but you understand the process, okay? That you can
I do.
change the layout.
Okay,
Okay.
amazing. So you have directly given me all the data like drawings right now, reports, graphs, but Maria, which is the process to get there? How do you get all that information?
Okay. The process is what you need at the beginning is an architectural model.
Okay, how can we get that?
There are many ways of doing that. One possibility is to draw it using Type Architecture. For instance, one of our free programs. It could be from Type Architecture. Another option is to use IFCs generated by other software brands.
Any IFC.
Yes, Revit, Allplan, Archicad, you name it, okay?
Whatever.
And in that case, the program, in all of these cases, sorry, with using CYPEHVAC Loads, in this first step, the program will generate the analytical model.
Perfect.
And one thing, because there's also another possibility. You could create directly from our software an analytical model. In that case,
Oh,
you could
really?
use yes, that's and using CYPEHVAC Loads. See this button, geometric model?
Yes, I can see it.
From here, we connect to IFC Builder, which is also one of our free programs. So you can draw very easily a building that will have all the necessary info to continue with CYPEHVAC Loads.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Yes, I think so too. And well, in addition to that, in addition to the feature of generating the analytical model, in this tab we can do another thing, which is to create space groups.
Okay, how do you do
Okay.
that?
Very easily you can manage that. Here, I'm going to show you one that I have already done, but so people can see the result. Okay, so you can group, for example, all the spaces that are in your building the way you prefer. So then they will appear in the thermal model as a group of spaces, and it will make you easier to create hypotheses later on.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. So that's the model, isn't it? The project.
Yes, exactly. Here, the interface is, well, as you can see, you can choose from the different you can have more than one model, of course. That's one of the great things about the BIM workflow, or how we are integrated in BIMServer Center. This project can be in the project we can in each of the software we can add all the contributions of other software, so we can see the architecture, the structure, site, the equipment, etc. Yes,
Everything is connected. Okay, so
exactly.
what else can you do in the thermal model tab?
And in the thermal model, what you do is to give the thermal properties to all the elements. That's a very important part of this program, in fact.
I agree.
Yes, because we have to tell the program, for example, for the spaces, what are the conditions we have, first of all, each of the space has to be defined in the sense of if it's going to be cool and heat, or what are the design indoor temperatures we need to have in those spaces. All right, you see here the cooling and heating conditions, the design relative humidity, both for cooling and heating. Okay, you see here. Also, if there's going to be ventilation, you can give the values in different units, and the infiltrations, you can set the internal heat gains, for example, the people that are going to be there as a total value or as a ratio, square meters per person. What is the sensible heat gain per person, the radiant fraction, the latent heat gain. Also, you can say the lighting you are going to have in the space as a total value or as a ratio per watts per square meter, for instance. Also, if there's internal equipment, and miscellaneous loads, if there's something else you want to add. One thing that I like to say about this is that the program gives you a lot of help. There are, every time we see this blue arrow, it means that there's help available, and no, a very interesting source in this case, because all this info comes from ANSI ASHRAE standard.
Oh, really?
Yes, from ASHRAE. In this case, the standard 62.1 2013. Depending on the moment, it could be another source. The program always is going to show you from where we are getting the info, okay? And you can, the users can use them, and you can see here that it's all, the elements. We have this very, very useful source of info. So you have default values that, of course, you can change afterwards, okay? Because everything is customizable, editable for you. Even the schedules that you can set, and well, there are so many options for the spaces, for example, okay? Then another very important part, because let's start from the inside, okay? The first thing is the conditions we need to have inside the spaces, but then we have to define the envelope of the building. So here you can see elements. So we have the types of, in this case, facades or partition walls, etc. Of course, we need to give to tell the program what composition the constructive elements have. But in this case, there are many options in order to do that. We could do it one layer by layer, like as you can see here. It could be, you could even create your own material, or you could use these helps. For example, this button of representative materials from in this case, from the ASHRAE Handbook Fundamentals.
Okay, so nice.
Yes. And
I have a question. Can you use this information with other future projects, or you have to do it every time you start a new one?
You can, of course, in this program, every time you see this button, it means that you can export or import to the library.
Ah, really? Okay.
Yes. So you can save everything you have done for the same project and for future files. Yes. Okay. So
that's really helpful.
It is. In fact, yes. And one thing that I'd like to show here, because I think it's particularly useful, talking about saving time and that.
Yes, go ahead.
Is that here, I think here, there are representative wall types, which means that you have complete solutions. Not only one material, but the solution, the complete solution with all the materials that can make a facade, for instance. In fact, in this example, I have imported the facade from that help button. Okay, so that's
okay.
the thing.
I remember that in the thermal load Thermal Loads tab, you could interact with the 3D model. Can you do it here as well? Because I can see the 3D model in the bottom of the screen.
Yes, here it's also interactive, and yes, you can do that. Let me 1 second.
No problem at all.
Yes, take a little zoom, and yes, you can interact and in many ways, because, for example, now the model is finished, so there are no errors. But if, for example, something was uncompleted, I would see a cross and telling this has to be
a red cross. A red
exactly,
cross, yeah.
exactly. But
it's really visual.
It is. So you locate the element in the building. Yes, so maybe I have, let's see, I have a doubt about how did I, maybe another thing that, in fact, I had the doubt. Imagine I have the doubt about what is the space that I used here. I can click and it will take me to the type of space. So, for example, I know that this is the kitchen, or it's defined as a kitchen. If I come here also as a space, I know that this was a lounge. Okay, so that's kind of, it can be helpful, very helpful, especially if I didn't model the building.
Yes, you're right. I forgot to ask you before, but I see the BIMServer Center logo in the top right. Is it for uploading your project to the cloud?
Yes, it is. From here you can update, which means import what was generated by other software to this file, and then on the other hand you have the share button, which with this one you export that to BIMServer.center, so that lets you or any member of your work team to continue using the rest of the software, using the results of CYPEHVAC Loads.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so I think we have already talked about the main features of CYPETHERM Loads, isn't it, Maria?
Yes, I think so.
Do you think so?
Is enough. Yes. We could spend
Amazing, because
more
we
time,
still have
but
a lot of things to talk about today. So I think now we will focus on our solutions for designing systems. First, I think we should start with CYPEHVAC Ductwork.
Perfect.
Is that okay? Perfect.
Yes,
so
yes,
this is our solution for designing and analyzing ductwork.
Yes. Here you can see this has also this 3D interface. So you're already familiar with that. So it's really intuitive.
It looks like the same. Yeah, that's really helpful. Yes. Once you learn one, maybe learning the second one is gonna take you just few days.
Exactly. And in this program, as you said, it analyzes the duct, so you can just a little example of the analysis performed in a particular duct. You can see the checks that the program does.
Could you show us maybe the main feature of this solution?
Yes, for me, it could be the fact that it's the user can set the limits that wants to perform. The design option for ducts is editable. The other thing is that the user can create its own libraries of ducts, supply grid, return grids, etc. And it works in a 3D environment, so you can work in that way. But at the same time, okay, you see, it's in 3D. You could work directly in this 3D or in the floor views. And let me go just for a second, make invisible the architecture. Okay, you can make it visible or invisible anytime. One thing that for me it's important to comment is that you can work in the floor view like that in 3D if you're comfortable with that. But it's also possible to work in this kind of view. So for it's like old school kind of working, okay? But the result will be 3D, okay? And more or less, this could be, if I have to say something, I think that's enough for today. Well, and the fact that the equipment It can be various, can be fan, heat recovery unit, or air handling unit. Okay, so it has many possibilities. Well, I told you I have finished. No, just one thing, please. One thing that I think is important, that in this program, it can be because yes, how did you get the info of the spaces? Well, I am just clicking one space. You can read the thermal loads from CYPETHERM Loads, what I previously showed you. Okay, so these results of the spaces can be read from CYPETHERM Loads. This is one possibility, but it's also possible to change it from here. So it makes the program really flexible.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
That was really interesting. Should
it.
we next one?
Let's go to the other. Yes, let's go, because we have so many services for today. If you don't mind, I want to, before going to the Radiant Floor program, I'd like to show you briefly one of our manufacturer system software. One of them, if you don't mind, I'd like to show very briefly.
No worries, Maria, go ahead. It sounds really interesting.
It is because it's another kind of software that is especially of a particular brand, in this case Panasonic, which means that the equipment that we're using is real. I mean, with the properties that they have told us, and the design is done with their criteria, and it gets a report. Let me show you, because I think it's particularly interesting. It gets a report that shows that all the requirements that this particular brand has are met.
Okay,
so it's a price compliance table, and you get the equipment list with a particular, not something generic, but something that is in the market. So you get that equipment list. And another thing that I find particularly interesting is the schema that it gets. Here it's in part of the report, but it could be generated. Let me concentrate here with this button. Any moment, if you have that, you can check the schema. That's something I'm sure people that are watching this are familiar with this and will appreciate it. Okay, so more or less, I think that's it for today. As I say, maybe in another webinar we can
tell a bit more about this. Okay, that's amazing. Should we keep going with the solutions for designing systems?
Yes, let's go.
Perfect. So another solution is CYPEHVAC Radiant Floor.
Yes.
This solution is for BIM modeling and design of radiant floor installations.
Yes. Here you can see that again, we are talking about a software that is linked to BIMServer Center. So we are always in contact with the architectural model in this case. Okay, so it's very graphic. And in this case, well, the first thing maybe I could say is that it is possible to create spaces directly from Radiant Floor. So it makes it possible to work as a standalone program. Sometimes it can be if that's the case, we could use everything, insert everything in an empty project from here, even the templates, etc. That's one possibility, and then use the circuits and distributions buttons, or we can read the building, including the thermal loads, and they will appear directly here as the input value. Okay. Anyway, as you can see in this example, for instance, I don't have the thermal loads, no problem, because there's also possible to set certain conditions for the type of spaces. So here, for instance, is a ratio watts per square meter for sensible cooling loads. So the program performs and gets the resulting load, which is the needs for the space. So if I could have to describe this program, it's really flexible.
Okay, amazing.
It is, and it gets a very complete report with the analysis results, material schedule, and drawings. Let me show you just one of these. One of these reports, just briefly, okay? Okay.
Okay,
So
perfect.
I don't know how long time do you have time because
Yes, of course.
yes,
We are
yes,
doing
okay,
well, but should we
okay,
next one? This is like the movie
yes,
Fast and Furious, Maria.
yes, that's I want to do everything just because they are
Okay, so
really
no problem at all. I'm
okay.
sure that people are appreciating this. Next one
Yes,
is CYPEHVAC Hydronics. Yeah, this is our
yes,
solution for designing water distribution installations for HVAC.
exactly. In this case, we can perform the hydraulic analysis for the dimensioning of the equipment. Always that needs water. I mean, like it could be radiators, double radiators, fan coils, radiant floor, manifold, and you name it. Because there's also the possibility of creating your own emitter. And in this case, if I got to say one describe this program, is that it's very, very flexible and customizable.
Okay.
You know that we have done other this program is quite similar to our plumbing programs. If people are interested in that, or already know that, they will see that the menu is very, very similar, and it's very very customizable. So the user can set the limits for the type of the create types of pipes, etc., and is a very powerful program in that for that reason. Okay.
Okay. Is that the main feature of the solution? Perfect.
I would say so. Its flexibility, it's for me the main feature this program has.
Okay, so we have already mentioned our solutions for designing systems. I think we could take a look to CYPEHVAC Schematics. Is that right?
Yes.
This solution is for designing circuit diagrams for HVAC solutions.
Exactly. With this program, you can insert any elements as you can see and make the drawing. And the final result is the layout like this one. Okay, and that's it.
Okay, that's it. Okay,
so can be personalized, etc. But that's more or less what this program does.
Yeah, like the other solutions. So perfect. Should we talk about now about our solutions for energetic analysis?
Yes, I was looking forward to it.
Amazing. So first, CYPETHERM EPlus. This solution is for energy modeling and simulation of buildings with the Energy Plus calculation engine. Could you show us the main feature maybe of this solution?
Yes, of course. This program is very graphic. It has the output of the results are very easy to understand. So the professional of this field will have a lot of the necessary info to understand the results of Energy Plus and do the changes of the decisions about the envelope of the systems, etc. that wants to make. So for me, I think CYPEHVAC EPlus is a very powerful program. And here, for example, I'm showing the last tab, in the analysis tab of CYPEHVAC EPlus, and we are seeing the results for the demand of the building, in this case for each of the dwellings. And we can see the heating energy and minimum temperatures of each of the zones. the cooling energy and maximum temperatures, etc. We can see all the results as a table. We could see the results also in a report. So if we click here the demand report, you get a very complete report.
I see.
Yes, this can be this kind, for me, this kind of graph, the annual energy balance of the building graph is very, very interesting. It has, of course, a legend explaining each of the elements represented in the graph, and in a very visual way, you can understand the why you're having losses in the building and make the right decisions about what you could improve. It is first as a graph, but also as a table. So you can see month by month the different energy transfers. Of course, this is going to be shown for the whole building, but also for each of the zones. Let me come here exactly. Here you would have the results per zones as a table. And well, first we can have the demand analysis and also the consumption analysis. And in that sense, the program gives a lot of info about, for instance, the unmet heating load hours with the systems we have used, the unmet cooling load hours, if there are, the final results, and of course, as a consumption report. Telling the different energy sources we have used. Megawatt hours.
That's a lot of information.
Yes, and we even have additional reports. Yes. Even about at least about the description of the materials used, the linear thermal bridges, the condensation reports, and the internal comfort report also. So very, very complete. Okay, so that's the part of the results. But another very important thing for me is what you can do in the building tab, which is the place where you give the input to the program. Okay, and in this case, we have a lot of info help buttons to as in the CYPEHVAC Loads. Okay, so you can it's very easy to create your space types to personalize them, but you even have a predefined space types in this case. So
okay,
yeah, I think it will be really helpful. Again, the possibility to create walls from different from the ASHRAE. I'm not going to repeat that because it's the same as CYPEHVAC Loads, but just to mention that this possibility. Another thing that, by the way, I'm just realizing, I think I didn't say it in CYPEHVAC Loads, is that the program has a edge processing wizard. So the program automatically processes the linear thermal bridges. So the program does it for you.
Okay, so it's kind of an assistant.
Exactly. In fact, sorry, but if you don't mind, because I don't know how I could miss that. That in CYPEHVAC Loads, we have this. Sorry, here in the thermal model, we have the edges processing button, and I really want to mention this because it's quite. I think it's a safe-saving feature. Okay, you imagine in the case of this building that we have all of these thermal bridges. We could, of course, define them one by one. The possibility is always there for us, okay? But we have the possibility to use the automatic edges processing button, okay? So that's
Okay.
let's go. I'll go back to energy.
Thank you for showing us that. Yeah, that was really interesting. Okay, so should we talk about our last solution?
Yes.
CYPETHERM Improvements Plus?
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. Just before that, I wanted to say one
No problem.
thing. Okay, because another very important thing about CYPETHERM EPlus is that you can create, of course, the systems. Okay, the HVAC systems or the DHW systems for the consumption, and the program has a wizard for that, so you can do it really fast. Okay, it helps you creating this in a very fast way, and just because I'll explain this because it makes it will make more understandable the improvements plus program. Okay, the thing is that with CYPEHVAC Plus we model a certain situation. Okay, a certain building that, for example, in this case, has one envelope and also has a system, in this case, a boiler and radiators. Okay, this is one situation. You know that many times what we need to do is to compare different situations. For example, what can happen if we change the system from a hydronic system to a BRF system, for instance. And this is the moment where CYPEHVAC Improvements Plus comes. Okay, so for example, in this case, I have this in CYPEHVAC Plus. I have a situation which is the one with the radiators. Okay, so I can share to BIMServer Center that situation, and then I could have more situations and share them as an improved measure, as I thought, maybe with another HVAC system or another envelope, or maybe with thermal collectors, any difference. Okay, once if we have done that, then it's very intuitive to use the next program, as you say, CYPEHVAC Improvements Plus. In this program, we can compare different situations.
Okay, perfect. So as far as I know, this is our solution for energy audit of the building and analyzing possible, what you say, improvement measures with energy and economic analysis. Yep.
Exactly. And this
which is the main feature, would you say?
I won't directly do that because I think if I have to say
you know what you're doing, Maria. You know.
The improvement for me, the improvement measures analysis.
Okay, perfect.
I find this particularly interesting because it gives you and it does an economic analysis comparison between the different situations in terms of money, if I can say that, and also in terms of energy. In this case, for instance, the annual consumption of non-renewable primary energy. We compare different situations. And always, I think, graphs are very easy to understand, and you see, you always have the graph and then the table, so everybody has the immediate info. And for me, one thing that is I'd like to
point out.
Yes, thank you. Is that one possibility is to use the results from CYPEHVAC EPlus. It's preferably
you can do that,
but you can do also here directly. So imagine that for any reason I want to include another improvement measure. I could come here to new improvement measure and create it from scratch from here. Okay, so depending on the situation, maybe I want to use all the more than one software or just one solution.
Okay.
Okay. So I think.
Do you think that's it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. That was intense, but thank you very much, Maria. I think we have mentioned and explained all the solutions from the HVAC systems, isn't it?
I think so, at least the most important things. Probably something has been...
We could be here for hours. I wouldn't mind. I love working with you, Maria, but probably a lot of people have other things to do today. So
that's the thing.
It's probably time to, so it's probably time to say goodbye.
Yes, maybe we should. Maybe we should. Yes,
But
because I
before
just
we leave,
think, oh, I didn't show that the exterior conditions can be from many sources, but I guess people can. If anybody has doubts, don't worry. I'm available in the support department. Mail me, and I'll tell you more.
oh, of course. So,
Okay.
but before we leave, I would like
Mm.
to remind everyone that we are launching really good offers related to this webinar. Do you have the image with the HVAC systems, Maria?
Oh, yes, yes. That one?
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, we are launching really good offers related to this webinar, okay? As you may know, this offer will be available just for a short period of time, so don't waste your time and hit me with a message, okay? The offer is related to the solutions you see in the screen right now. Okay, Maria, I forgot to, I had a list of the HVAC systems from BIMServer Center. Do you have that link?
Ah. Oh, yes, yes. I do.
Yeah, do you know that
Let
list
me see.
from BIMServer
Yes.
Center with all the solutions? So,
Yep. Here it is.
oh yeah, that one.
Mm.
Amazing. Yes, it's just I'm not sharing my screen, you're sharing the screen. Yeah, amazing. I have the link as
Yes.
well. So, you can download the solutions from here and you can find information related to them as well. You know what? Because I forgot to say it
Yes.
before. I'm just
Mm.
gonna send it right now to the chat, okay? Just give me a couple of minutes because I
Hmm.
have the
Ah,
link here.
great idea. So they can download and
Yeah,
install them right
I will
now.
share it with you all right now in the chat. Please check it out. Okay, there we go. And yes, thank you for for sharing this with us, Maria, because I forgot
Ah,
about it.
you're welcome.
And okay, so thanks everyone for joining us today here in our webinar about HVAC for BIM professionals. Do not forget to check out the offers and the link I just shared with you in the chat. Thanks, Maria, for helping me out here today. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you very much.
So that's all. If you have more questions, as Maria said before, you can contact our technical support department. The email is support@cype.com. Quite easy.
That's
Support
right.
at cype.com. So I hope you got it. And thank you very much again. And see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.